Hi, welcome back to AutoReview. My name is Patrick and today I'm presenting you the 2018 Hyundai Kona. The Kona is the newest addition to the Hyundai family and obviously is part of the SUV class. The Kona comes with two different engine choices at the moment, a 1.0 liter, 120 horsepower, 3-cylinder, 6-speed manual with front-wheel drive, or the one that we have here, the 1.6 liter, 4-cylinder, 177 horsepower, all-wheel drive model with a 7-speed DCT transmission. The Kona starts in Switzerland at 17,990 Swiss francs for the Pika trim. There's three trim levels: Pika, Launch and Launch Plus. We have here the highest, the Launch Plus. And for that one, as we have here, you would have to pay 34,990 plus. In this case, we have the ceramic blue paint. That will be an additional 750 Swiss francs. There will be two more engines coming, 1.6 liter diesel engine as well as full electric version. However, we don't have a date yet. So the 1.6 liter produces 177 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, maximum torque of 265 Newton meters at 1,500 to 4,500 RPM, 0 to 100 time is 7.9 seconds, top speed is 205 kilometers an hour. Fuel consumption I tested was between 6.9 to 7.7 liters on 100 kilometers, and we have a CO2 emissions of 153 grams per kilometer. As usual, I'll show you the first row, the second row, the boot space, and then we hit the road. But before we get to this, please subscribe to the channel, activate the bell icon, and thank you very much Garage Buchseli AG who provided this car to me. You'll find the link in the description below. So let's go. Alright, so the Kona from inside, and what do we have? As usual, from left to right. So opening and close of the doors, then we have electric adjustable mirrors which fold in as well in this edition, and actually it has a proximity sensor, so when you come close with the key in the pocket, then the mirrors already fold out. However, to unlock you just have to press the button on the handle and then basically it unlocks the car. Then adjustment of the electric mirrors, which are heated as well, lock and open button for the doors. Then we have electric windows on all 4 spots. However, you can see we have only auto function for the driver, up and down. The other ones you have to hold the buttons. Then on the bottom we have big storage for bottles, so you can see 1.5 liter fits in here. Speaker. On the left and right we have the vents in a round shape. In the middle we have this oval shape. Then one row down we have the adjustment of the brightness of the screens, parking sensors or basically blind spot assistant, head-up display that we can adjust. We have the lane departure assistant and the traction control on and off. Then steering wheel, leather wrapped and nice, it's heated. You can adjust it here obviously, and it gets very hot, so on a day like this it's perfect. Then we have on the left side the buttons for voice recognition, going through the menu, volume and radio stations, as well as the telephone. On the right side we have the one for the menu in the middle where you can switch through navigation, assistance systems, all the settings, as well as consumption, fuel consumption, trip A, overall trip and digital speedo, plus the cruise control or the limiter with the resume and set. It goes in 2 kilometer steps on the bottom to basically say okay or go back. Then left we have the lights, we have auto lights, as well we have auto high beam, which works very well, very quick and responsive. You just have to switch it on once. When you get in the car you push it away from you. And on the right side the wiper. Now steering wheel can be adjusted in reach and rake, as you can see, so that's fine. In the Launch Plus we have as well electric seats, as you can see, and we have as well electric lumbar support, which is really nice. Then instrument cluster, very clear, very easy to read, blue rings around them. The analog instruments on the left, the RPM, on the right the speedo, in the middle the color display with information on which drive system you're in. So basically drive mode you have Eco, Sport or Comfort, as well as temperature and all the assist systems. And on the left we have the temperature, plus on the right the fuel gauge. In the middle then we have the screen that stands out a little bit here with the shortcut buttons on the left and the right. It's a touch screen, so if you go inside you will see you have additional information that you can have here. And then we have radio media for the radio seek and track. We have a physical volume rocker, which is nice because it goes very quick. So for example, if you're listening loud music, the song is finished, you don't want to listen to the next horrible song, you just make it quiet very quickly. And on the right side we have map, navigation, star button, which basically you can configure yourself. Now I have, for example, configured that I turn it off when I drive in the night and I don't need it, and a setup button. Then hazard light in the middle. We have a one-zone air conditioning, automatic air conditioning, which works very well. With the shortcut buttons here. Here we have as well if everyone is buckled up, which is great, and a little display if the passenger airbag is off or not. Then what I really like is we have a little compartment which is basically hiding kind of, where a big iPhone 6 Plus, for example, fits exactly inside. So most of the cars nowadays have the problem you don't have space for big phones because you don't know where to put them. But Hyundai actually thought about it, because obviously Hyundai comes from Korea, and in Korea Samsung is very big, and they have basically started this phablet and huge phone trend, and there you have space for the big phones. On the bottom then we have two 12-volt power sockets, aux in, one USB port, and we have a wireless charging on the bottom with this rubberized, so if you have a phone that supports wireless charging, you can put it in here and it does it. Very nice. Then the 7-speed DCT gearbox works very good with the engine, and the engine is very responsive, had a good punch to it. We're going to see it in a moment. Drive modes, as I mentioned, Eco, Comfort and Sport. Then we have heated seats in 3 settings for driver and passenger, as well as ventilated in 3 settings, heated steering wheel, and that gets really hot over some time. Then we have start, stop, on and off, and on the right side we have hill descent control that will basically let you drive down with 9 kilometers an hour. Works really good. Obviously we have hill ascent control as well, so basically if you're standing on a hill and you get off the brake onto the gas, it will basically hold the brake before you can accelerate. And the parking sensors on and off. Very important button is the lock button here, because this one actually activates the 4-wheel drive. Usually it drives only in 2-wheel drive mode, and if you basically lock it, it will engage 4-wheel drive, permanent 4-wheel drive, which is great. And then the car has really a lot of grip. Manual handbrake, 2 cup holders with like 2 card slots. Then we have a compartment here inside below the armrest. However, you cannot slide the armrest forward, it's like it is. Seats are comfortable, though I would wish a little bit more side support, especially when you go a bit off-roading with it. Or, well, off-roading. If you drive not on tarmac, it would be nice to have a little bit more seats that grip you, or as well if you go in the corners a little bit faster. Last but not least, the glove box. You can see it's huge, and there's a lot of stuff in it. I have so many handbooks in this car. I found 4 of them, so I'm not quite sure if they're in all different languages that we have in Switzerland, so French, German and Italian, not sure. Then we have the automatic dimming mirror, spot for the glasses, and when we have lights here which you can individually turn on and off, sunshades with mirror, and a manual light, which is nice because you don't need light during the day, obviously. And last but not least, we have a head-up display that every time you turn off the car goes down, and every time you turn it on goes up. I haven't found it in the settings where I could basically leave it up, because this is always something that I ask myself. It's great, I love it, so I do recommend to have head-up displays in any car, and it gives you a lot of information like speed, routes, basically if you have the navigation set, and so on and so on. However, how long will this last? Will it last 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15, 20 years down the road? Because obviously up and down every time you turn on the car, not so sure. Okay, so that's it. Let's hop on the second row and see how much space we have there. All right, so the Kona from the second row, and the seat in front is adjusted to me. I'm 184 tall. I see this is a little bit too high now. And you can see I'm not touching the seat yet. So I have still space here, and obviously if I sit like this, it's comfortable. I have enough space for my feet as well, which is great. Then to open the door, obviously, the windows. And what I love is they close all the way into the door, so there's not a piece left like in other cars. And you see as well, we have tinted windows, B-pillar all around. Little compartment in the doors, like small door bins. Then the nets on the rear side of the front seats. Nothing in the middle, so unfortunately no connectivity in the back. So we have no USB charging facility, we have no 12-volt power socket, no 220 or 230 volt power socket. Unfortunately, we have only one USB, which is the one in the front. Then in the middle we have the armrest with 2 cup holders, which is plastic in here, no spacers, so small energy drinks will not fit. However, it's nice to have it, and you see it's a nice height as well. It's not too low and not too high, which is great. Then Isofix left and right. You see we have obviously 3 headrests. The one in the middle is a little small tiny one, and it doesn't go all the way up. And if I actually move it back, it's okay. So this is the highest position, but it could be a little bit higher because obviously you see my neck is already moved backwards. Headroom is good. Handle, hook and reading light. And the hook is only available on the left side, so we have only for example, the driver hangs his jacket here. So that's pretty much it. Now let's check the boot. Alright, so the Kona from the back, and obviously the back looks design-wise very similar to the front, and I guess the design will be as well something that most people will either like or hate. However, as I mentioned as well, in the front or from the overall design, I really like it because it's not the boring SUV or boring car that you see 1,000 times on the road every day. This stands out. So we have a little antenna on top, roof spoiler or extension of the roof basically with a third brake light. Then again, like in the front, we have very sleek rear lights as well, which look really nice. Then blinkers and reverse lights are on the bottom, same design that is taken from the front to the back. We have the reverse camera on the bottom. However, this one is going to get dirty if you drive in rain or in bad weather conditions because it's not protected. Parking sensors in the black part, and then another color in silver on the bottom or in gray. Now when we open the boot, it opens let's say 180, so it's a little bit lower than usual. We have a cover for the boot obviously, and then we have a flat boot, which I like. It says here maximum loading weight is 60 kilograms for that part, because below here we have some storage compartments. Space is 361 liters up to 1143 liters, depending on if you fold down the seats and obviously how you arrange the car. Now we have here hooks, which is really nice in the floor, and obviously you saw it already just now. I can open it up, and then we have here some smaller compartments where you could put small stuff, and when you open it up or basically take it out, you have another big compartment on the bottom with the compressor kit and all the towing equipment, just in case. Now we have hook on the left in plastic, seems like a subwoofer on the right, a light on the left, and that's pretty much it. So let me close it up because it's really freezing today. Let's get in the car and now we can drive. Okay, so let's drive the Kona, and we have to turn off the fog lights. Now, as you might follow the channel, you know my usual test track, and the first thing I always test with cars that have cruise control is on my 30 km/h test track here, is at what speed does it start. So we go 30, we activate cruise control, and it works. 30 km/h. Thumbs up, Hyundai, very well done. Now I like it. Okay, so driving wise, we're gonna go onto the highway because the engine is warm. I had it running for the last 5-10 minutes when we were standing because first of all it's damn cold. It's 1 degree outside, but it feels like -20 because the wind is so freezing. Doesn't matter. Now, engine is warm and we can go onto the highway. So we're gonna change from Eco to Sport, and we're gonna engage the all-wheel drive, which we have already, and you will see how well this car accelerates. Now, one point I would have to criticize a little bit is that the steering wheel is a little bit too light, in my opinion, and I don't feel that actually it changes much when I turn into Eco or Sport. Well, it does a little bit, but not too much, so I still would think it would be nicer if it would be a little bit more direct, especially at higher speeds. Let's go. Now, one thing that I would need to be a little bit critical on is not build quality, because build quality is great, it's just the materials used. Because that part here, only this one here, is the only one that is a little bit soft. Here already is hard, this is all, well, here's a little soft as well, but pretty much everything else is hard plastic, and it doesn't look bad. However, when you touch it, the feel is, well, it would be nicer if it would be a little bit more soft touch, so you have a little bit nicer feeling to it. But build wise, it's really well built. Obviously, the price is very good if you consider what you get for this car, because $34,999, so let's say $35,000, and you have a fully equipped car. The only thing missing is we have no front radar, so we have no adaptive cruise control. We have blind spot assistant, we have active lane departure assistant. However, we have no front radar to keep distance to the car driving in front of you. And that is not available as well as an option. Now you see, start stop, turns on, works well. We're now in comfort. Now I'm getting really warm because obviously doors are closed and everything, and we can turn off all those things. As I mentioned, the steering wheel, what I like is it gets warm all around. Some cars have only warm here and here, top and bottom not. Here the heating is all around, and it's so nice and so nice to touch when it's cold outside. Though again, I would wish they would have something that you have at least two settings, so like a hot and medium or low and medium, because it gets really too warm after some time. And it takes approximately 2-3 minutes to actually that you feel something that's really warm. And once it's warm, if you turn it off, it takes a little bit to basically cool down again. So that's why I would wish there would be different settings. Now, highway coming. Head-up display is great. We have the sign recognition as well. We see it here, and we have it in a head-up display. Though I'm not quite sure if it's based on the camera or if it's based on the GPS data, because just now we were driving, it was a 30 zone, but it showed me 50, so not so sure. Now here it's 60, and it's not switching to 60, so it must be GPS based. Okay, actually now it's switched, sorry. Now, sport. All-wheel drive is on. Let's listen to the engine and see. It's a very good pickup, really. It has good grip to it. Obviously you have a manual function as well for a 7-speed DCT. And now we're in 7th gear. And a lot of people always ask what is the RPM in highest gear. So now I'm driving 100 and it's exactly 2000 RPM. So here you go. Now let's put it back to comfort. And as I mentioned, ride-wise, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. You have a good visibility. Mirrors are big. We have as well this one, which is nice. We have the reverse camera. The camera is fine. The screen is fine. It's not pixelated, but somehow the last touch is missing. So it works well, but obviously compared to some other manufacturers, however, I'm looking into higher class as well, which is obviously the cars that get more expensive, which obviously makes the cars more expensive. A little bit extra is missing, just to make it more upscale. Now, space-wise, it's good. Second row is a little bit less than some other manufacturers, obviously, but again, the car is not too long. Boot space, 361 liters, is okay. Again, you can obviously adjust it, but the floor, for example, is fixed. You can't, for example, lower it down because we have the storage foam there, let's call it this way. And you cannot adjust the height. So the only way to basically increase the space for the boot is by folding down the seats. And that's maybe a limiting factor if you have a family, and 361 liters is not too much for a family. Now, if you use it as a lifestyle car, or for example, a couple that already kids are out, out in school and moved out already, it's plenty of space. Now, fuel consumption, I think for the power and the pickup it offers you, and the all-wheel drive option, actually we can turn off the all-wheel drive, is reasonable, 6.9 to 7.7. I guess if you drive normal way, because I was driving anything between 80 to 120 on the highway, obviously we accelerated, it should be something around 7.5. Everyone should be able to reach it. Automatic, I really like it, works really well. Shifts quick. You don't really feel the shifts so much. You hear it a little bit, but you don't feel it. Now, you have sometimes wind noise, depends on how fast you drive, which comes a little bit from the boot side. I'm not quite sure if there's a little bit less isolation there, because I hear a little bit wind from the boot area there. Mirrors, not much. I don't hear anything here, which is all good. Now, head-up display, I mentioned I like the head-up display, though I would wish for every car manufacturer, not just Hyundai here in this case, to be able to fix that so it doesn't drive in and out all the time. Just keep it this way. I mean, what's the point of bringing it up and down all the time automatically when you turn on and off the engine? I don't see a point in that. At least go somewhere in a sub-menu and on or open and close if you don't like it. Now, one thing that I discovered as well is the blind spot assistant. You have most assist systems here, which you can adjust here. Fire assistance, driver assist systems. You have what your attention level is, lane departure. You can go active, you can have standard or just a warning. I obviously have it as active, lane departure assistant. Then front collision warning, we have rear collision warning, cross traffic alert as well, which is great. I'm just going to show you a clip now, which is really good. It shows you from which side it comes, and it's actually really good because it shows you in advance. But blind spot assistant, you have the button here, and if you by mistake deactivate it, you won't see it here, and basically it will not do anything. So make sure that the blue light is on, otherwise you don't have blind spot assistance. Well, materials I mentioned already, would be nice a little bit more soft touch materials. However, it is okay because the price is really, really fair. Again, the Kona starts with the 1 liter 120 horsepower 6-speed manual front wheel drive 3-cylinder at 17,990 in the Pika trim level. Obviously you won't have all the assist systems here, but if you go for the Launch Plus, which we have here, everything is on board. Yeah, you have the leather seat as well, heated, ventilated, heated steering wheel, reverse camera, navigation, assist systems, everything other than the front radar. Now, I think it's a pretty nice car. I really like the design because there's just too many boring cars out there, I have to say. Hyundai is bold, I would have to say, or I want to say that heads up to being, you know, not afraid of bringing out a car that is different, and I like that about Hyundai. Now, hopefully soon we're gonna have better weather and we will be able to test the Hyundai i30N, the sport version, which is a great car as well from what I've read so far and when I looked at it. However, we want to experience that one for ourselves. And if you would like to see that video as well, and if you enjoyed watching this one, please give it a thumbs up, share the video, like it, comment, and leave questions if you have. And again, thank you very much Garage Bugziliagi, who provided this car to me so I could show it to you guys. You'll find the link in the description below, and obviously you can call them up if you're interested in Hyundai, SsangYong or Citroën as well, as they are dealers for those 3 brands. So thanks a lot for watching, wish you a great day, see you next time, bye.